Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of the travel professional community and Travel Professional News, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. I've introduced webinars in the last few months while we've been going through all this that we're going through, which I don't even know what to call it. And I would start saying things like, we've been through some turbulent times for our industry and we appreciate you being here. So I'm going to change it up today and I'm going to say that, damn it, we just appreciate you being here and choosing to spend your time with us because we have got an amazing speaker who's done a number of presentations for us in the last few months that are so uplifting and so true and so important to listen to. So I'm thrilled to have Jenn Lee with us today. And today's webinar topic is post-COVID profitability plan. And Lordy knows we want that. So our host today is Travel Planners International, and we're joined by the amazing Jenn Lee, celebrating just 4 short years in the travel industry. But it seems like she's been here a lot longer than that because she sure knows it well. She's not shy about her obsession for guiding and leading travel entrepreneur advisors into the community. And according to Jenn, the travel industry is on the upswing, and this is the moment, more than ever, I think, to remind the world that travel advisors aren't just booking travel, but we're curators of the future and whatever that future is now going to hold for us. She believes that those that find success are the ones going beyond boosting their bank account, they're building a business. And you ask what keeps Lee going? It's meeting with passionate, hustling, and driven entrepreneurs in the making who plain just get it, and that in her bulletproof coffee. So I'm thrilled to have Jenn here as she's a dynamite presenter. For those of you that have been on before, you know how great she is. Please remember, though, folks, that you're all muted, and we're going to welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area that you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. And when Jen's all done with the presentation, we're going to take as many questions as we can. We do have some amazing prizes being awarded to a couple people that answer some questions correctly at the end. So stay tuned, listen well, because Jenn is going to be giving away a couple consultations with her, which is just wonderful. So let's turn the microphone over to my dear friend, Jenn, so she can get started. Welcome, Jenn.
Hey, Joni. Hey, everybody. So great to be with you today. And I liked how you started this. Like, damn it, come on already, right?
Yep.
As we are recording this webinar, we are in mid-July, and if you're listening to this live, I'm super proud of you, and I'm excited you're here because you clicked on it because you have a desire of some sort to be profitable, or maybe you're just curious because when I pitched this idea to Joni, I was like, I know you think I'm crazy, but yes, we could still talk about profitability, even though you've lost every sale you've had this year. Really talking about, moving your business forward, moving your business fiercely forward, as we've been saying at TPI for almost a year now. And so today I'm excited because you decided to click on this right now and to spend some time together. I promise it will be interactive. Please do not be shy. When I ask a question, type in the answer. And I've asked Joni to be kind of my co-host along the way so that we can work on this together. So without further ado, I've talked about profitability for the 4 years that I've been in the industry, because one of the things that I recognized when I first started talking to travel advisors is when I would say, hey, are you going to be profitable this year? Or what's your profit margin? Or, or how much money did you make last year? Joni, I would get a lot of like, I'm sorry, huh? What? Say what?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And I think that's because, and this industry is not the only one that feels is that way. I think it's because when you're so passionate about something, in many cases and many times you would do it for free. If you had the opportunity to do it for free, many people would. And then also a lot of people don't think about paying themselves. Shoot, we have some travel advisors that are partnered with TPI and we pay them under their social security number. I'm like, you're missing out on all your tax breaks. So there's a lot to this. And so today I want to go over some basic things, and then also we're going to dive deep. We're going to dive in, make sure you have plenty of paper in front of you and your pencil is sharpened, because we are going to start going past a hope. This is one of my favorite sayings: hope is not a strategy. And I know right now we're all hoping that things will turn around. We are all hoping that the cruise lines will sail. I'm literally putting together a vision board this week of a bunch of cruise ships sailing with human beings on them, all tourists, all of our clients sailing around. So unfortunately, hope is not a strategy. So we need to actually have a plan of some sort. So usually, and actually, Joni, this would be the first question that I would like to ask. No, actually, I've got another question I want to ask. So let's talk about what profitability is. So there's two types of profitability, or two definitions. The main one that most people know is profitability is the degree to which a business or activity yields profit or financial gain, right? That makes sense. You know, this is how much it cost me. This is how much I charge. In between is how much I made. You minus out all my expenses. Here's what my profit is. That's your basic 1, 2, 3 ABC profitability formula. It's not that hard. And we're actually going to go through that formula so that you guys can get a handle on how much you're making, how much you're spending, and where you need to make the adjustments. So that's the standard profitability definition. I found this one though, and I really liked this one too. Profitability is a measurement of efficiency, and ultimately it's success or failure. And in today's world, and really in any world, it is really important that every move that you make is maximized. Every decision that you make, you are leveraging. Everything that you do needs to be able to make you money or save you money. And so profitability from this definition to me is really about that measurement of efficiency. So today we're going to talk about numbers, but we're also going to talk about measurement of efficiency. And you know, my goal is that at the end of this webinar or soon thereafter, you will have developed yourself a plan that you can follow. And really, it's more of a plan that you will follow, because talk is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. It's very inexpensive to talk. The work comes, the outcomes come from the work. So I want this to be a plan that you will follow. So some of the things I'm going to throw a lot at you, and if some of them are applicable, great. Grab 1 or 2 of the applicable things. If others are not, throw those away. Don't worry about them, and just focus on the things that you know you will be able to follow. All right, so let's dive in. So before I get started, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and read these questions over again, but we're going to go through a 5-step plan of understanding where your money is right now. It's going to be on the webinar, but I also have a resource at the end of this webinar that will allow you to actually download even a bigger version, a larger version of what we're going to go through today. So don't feel like you have to actually write every single thing down. I want you to write down the main thing, the question, and then the line. So Joni, let's ask everybody, how many of you guys are actually paying yourself? How many of you actually at the end of every week or at the end of every month in the past, let's take today out of the equation, how many of you actually put yourself on some sort of salary? So I'd like to see those answers. Yes, I do. No, I don't. And if we can see those answers, or if you can read those answers to me.
I can see them. So let me go ahead and kind of share with you. Obviously, we got so many people on it, we can't do all of them, but let me give you what I'm getting. Yeah. Okay. I was, LOL. yes, yes, I do. No, yes, no, no. Let me see. A lot of no's. So far, majority no's.
Yeah.
I mean, and I see I'm a W-2 employee. I don't. I pay myself based on, let's see, commission. Nope, nope, nope. So I'm going to say, I'm looking at them, but I'm going to say the majority of them, probably 2/3 are going to be no.
No, right. Yeah. And that is the very first thing that I want you to start changing. The very next commission check that you get, I want you to take a salary out of it. Now, we're going to go through a process here. And at the end, it's all going to make sense. But putting yourself on a salary is a must in building a profitable business for a couple of reasons. One, it helps you balance between keeping money in your business account and your personal income desires. What I find mostly is that people live out of their business account, right? So they've set up a business banking account and they pay their electric out of it or their internet out of it. Obviously, they pay for FAMs and trips and maybe host agency membership fees, and they're paying a lot of stuff out of it. Maybe when they're going out to dinner, they're writing it off, saying they're with a client, and that's all great. That's all fine and well. But if you're not paying yourself, you really are not treating yourself like a business. And I'm a huge believer in this. So the first thing I want you to do is let's just make it happen, okay? How much do I want to deposit into my personal bank account in the next 12 months? Now, I want you to put in a number that's realistic, but not depressing, okay? Because you have to have goals, and you have to have goals that you're gonna heavily shoot for, because again, I want this to be a plan that you will follow. So how much money do I wanna actually deposit into my personal bank account in the next 12 months? Now, I'm gonna give you some examples along the way, but this should be something you all write down. And there is no wrong answer. If your answer is $5,000, then that's your answer. If your answer is $75,000, then that's your answer. There's no right or wrong. So I'm going to, just for sake of our PowerPoint together, our webinar together, I'm going to put in $40,000. And heck, I sure would in the next 12 months love to be able to say that I put $40,000 in my personal bank account. That's line number 1. And by the way, if you have any questions along the way, just type them in, and Joni, just interrupt me, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Line number 2 is, who are you paying? Now, we're big believers in the power of community, resources, programs, products that save you time, keep you organized, and most importantly, those that maximize your efforts. So this number has to be, think about your internet, your cell phone, rental space, association memberships, websites, monthly fees, chamber memberships, taxes, bookkeeper. You're not going to know that number right now. But I want you to be thinking about the people that you're paying on a regular basis, not your miscellaneous stuff, but your regular. This is my standard amount that I pay every single, and we're going to think in the terms of year. So in the next 12 months, in the past 12 months, what was I paying? That's the current amount. So in the past 12 months, I was paying $5,000 in all of these. Can you see my cursor when I'm doing that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. Thank you. So in the last 12 months, all these things added up. What was it? And again, we're going to be thinking in 12 months, 1 year time frame. So previous 12 months, July to July. Then the next number that you want to come up with is which programs, services, or products can you decrease right now? It is absolutely no surprise that everybody was being called and calling others saying, hey, I can't afford to keep paying you what I've been paying you. And you've had to kind of either cancel certain services, downgrade certain services. So you have to ask yourself, what programs, services, and products can I decrease? Which ones can be eliminated altogether? And then which ones, no matter how painful they are to keep, are a must? Once you figure that out, and actually I want to give you a second to kind of jot down a couple of the answers to this. Don't worry about the number, but like, I know I have to keep my host agency. I got to tell you, those that are with host agencies, boy, aren't you glad you're with a host agency right now. So your ASTA membership would be something, no matter how painful, they are a must to keep, because ASTA has done a phenomenal job of getting resources and documents and all kinds of stuff for their ASTA members. What are some things that you can eliminate? You know what, maybe, or downgrade. Maybe I can downgrade my internet service. Maybe I can downgrade my cell phone. Maybe it's not time for me to stay part of the chamber for the next 6 months. So once you have figured that out, enter your adjusted amount as line number 2. So we've done line number 1, which is what do you want to pay yourself. We've done line number 2, which is who are you paying. Now let's go to line number 3. And please ask questions along the way. And again, we're thinking in 12-month periods. So odds and ends add up. Hopefully you've been keeping track of how much you spend on miscellaneous expenses. Many of you have not. I know when I owned my own business, the very first time I pulled my first profit and loss from my QuickBooks and I looked at this big number, it was like a third of what I had, my gross income, and I looked at what it was, and it was like going out to lunch, bottles of wine. I mean, I was drinking a lot of wine back then, Joni, and my company was paying for it.
I'm drinking a lot right now.
Well, me too, but I can't write it off anymore. I used to be able to write it off. Right, but all those odds and ends really add up. So go back and see how much, I like to kind of go back to see how much you might be saving right now. So think of some of these odds and ends, your printer ink, paper, thank you cards, travel documents. We're probably saving a lot of money on travel documents right now because not a lot of people traveling. Lunches with clients, you're probably saving money there. Marketing collateral, trade show booth, donations. You know, go back again when you have time and ask yourself over the last 12 months, how much did I spend on these types of things? So I just put in a number of 2,500. And then ask yourself over the next 12 months, what aren't you spending money on right now? Now, for me, it may be lunches with clients might be something that I would probably get rid of altogether for the next 12 months, or at least for the next 6 months of the 12 months. So again, you have to know your previous to really understand where you can cut. Now, I'm going to just pause here and say, if you have no clue what you've spent, that's okay. Put yourself on a budget. And so now say to yourself, I'm not going to spend more than $750. Now this, again, I'm just making these numbers up. Your number is your number.
So
So
Jen,
line number, yeah, go ahead.
just a quick interruption. So someone came up with a great one to add to the things, which was client gifts.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
I'll
good
update
one.
my,
Yeah.
yes, thank you, thank you. Client gifts, let me write that down. Stand by because I'll forget that. It's so true. They should be sending you gifts.
Right now,
So
yes.
we'll put that in the income bracket here in just a minute. Okay, so now you've got line number 3. Now line number 4, get ready for continuing education opportunities. At this point, most industry events, FAM, seminars at sea, inaugurals, blah, blah, blah for 2020 have been canceled. Oh my God, it's so sad. But that doesn't mean there won't be opportunities later this year or in the beginning of 2021. Listen, we've got Cruise World to look forward to, right, Joni?
Amen.
Cruise World at the end
We're
of the
going.
year in November. And you want to be ready to say yes. So set aside a budget right now to attend a few of these over the next 12 months. So again, you could go back and say, this is what I'm used to spending. But in this case, I would just say, put some money aside, set this budget aside right now. And I'm going to tell you how you're going to meet that goal here. Don't worry. But line number 4 is set aside a budget for the next 12 months. I know some of our travel advisors have started going on FAMs or taking themselves on their own self-guided FAMs because they recognize that that is one of the strongest ways for your clients to see and feel what it feels like to travel to Mexico, to travel to the Caribbean, to travel wherever they're going. So they can get a feel for it, to go to Disney. A lot of our advisors just came for Universal and Walt Disney World. They posted pictures and videos and updates. Here's what it feels like. Here's what made me feel comfortable and confident and so on and so forth. And they're getting bookings out of that. So you've got to set aside some money right now to reinvest in your business. So that'll be line number 4. So again, I'm just putting in a number, $2,500. Then to me, this is probably one of the most important things, believe it or not, that you could be doing right now. You can't do it all by yourself. And even if you could, there will be a time when you realize you shouldn't do it all by yourself. There are thousands of unemployed, furloughed folks out there that would love to be part of something right now, even for $10 an hour. Listen, guys, we got to help others work, and you've got to be more efficient. Use that word efficient from the beginning. With your precious time. So how much more can you get done with someone else handling your marketing, your social, your bookkeeping, staying on hold with suppliers? For heaven's sakes, how many of you guys have your kids on hold? How many of you actually bought a second phone, like a burner phone? We got like a bunch of drug addict burner phones out there right now where you're paying by the minute. Budget for the next 12 months. And I would say that if you had, and I tell this to my advisors all the time, if you had $500 and you were asking me, Jen, what should I spend that $500 on this year? I'd say hire somebody. To me, that would be the highest and best use of your time because that one person that's 50 hours at $10 an hour is going to help you sell more, is going to help you do the things you do best. And so if you had an extra 500, that's what I would spend it on. So now we have line number 5. So we've gone through 5 lines, right? So we've done our, how much do we want to pay ourselves? We've done the, how much are we paying on a regular basis, on a, just a monthly basis, and we've added that up. Line number 3 are those odds and ends, the wine budget that you have set aside. Line number 4 is to get ready for continuing education. So you have that number. Line number 5 is, hired help that can get you there. So let's add up lines 1 through 5. And again, you're not going to know all of these right now. but I want you to just kind of write out. Now I need to add up lines 1 through 5. This number actually represents how much you need to make in commissions, service fees, plan to go fees, etc. over the next 12 months. Because if you make this much, this 49,250, and you stick with lines number 2 through 5, with your budgeting, you're going to make that $40,000 in your personal bank account. It's really that simple. You have to pay close attention to every single thing. So now we have to figure out, first off, does that make sense? Any questions so far? Joni, is there something I've missed
No, not
is
really. No,
glaring?
somebody asked about what category for cruise or like a cruise world type event, and you already did that one.
That,
Somebody made a comment about there's really no tax write-off for client gifting, so that's an interesting thing to say. And then
mhm.
somebody else said, I thought plan to go fees go toward cost of travel and aren't collected by the agent. That's the most last question I just received.
I use the word plan to go fees because you're right. But when that person does not book with you, do you keep that fee? Oh,
See
I'm
the answer
expecting
to
that
that
person to
question. Yeah, we'll see. Alexandria, did you hear that?
answer. Yeah, Alexandria, do you keep that? And we're going to talk more about fees here in a few minutes. That's an excellent point, Alexandria. Thank you for bringing it up.
She said yes.
Okay. Now listen, you'd rather rebate that back, but let's use that as how many, I mean, Alexandria, let's ask yourself this question. Over the last 12 months, how many plan to go fees were you able to keep? That's going to be very different than the next 12 months. And maybe you're not going to charge plan to go fees. I don't know. I don't know your business model, but ask yourself if it was 10%, that was the average, add that into your commissions, into your commission amount. And we're going to go through that again in just a second.
One quick second
So,
too, Jen.
sure,
Someone's asking if you wouldn't mind rolling back to show line 1.
of course, absolutely. Let's go. And 1. How much?
Okay.
This is the question to ask yourself if you put yourself on a salary. See, I like to envision, and I'll use one of my, several of our advisors have gone through this, and so they kind of know because I preach this quite a bit during our conferences and stuff. But one of my advisors said, you know what? Thank goodness I've always paid myself a salary because, and she's also put a portion of her salary into an emergency fund. So she paid herself, and she makes way more than this. Let me explain something. She paid herself a salary of $800 a month. She makes way more than this. She paid herself $800 a week. $800 a week. She'd take a portion of that 800 and she put it into an emergency fund that was just for her if she needed to reinvest it back in her business. The rest she paid herself. She kept in her own stuff, and then she kept money in her bank account, in her business bank account. And she got into the habit of making sure that she knew if for her to be able to at least pay herself, she set her goals, understanding she needs to be able to stroke a check every single week for at least $800 to herself. Now, we're going to talk more about that here in a minute, but that's very, very important. If you talk to any business owner, my sister-in-law owns a t-shirt printing company, a big screen t-shirt printing company. She does a couple $1 million a year. And she says the moment she puts the key in her front door and opens that door, it costs her $2,000 for that day, because she knows exactly how much electricity she's going to use, postage that she's going to use, what her bills are for her employees. She knows exactly the moment she opens that door, it costs her $2,000 a day. That's how you have to be thinking as a business owner. What does it cost? But you have to pay yourself. If you don't pay yourself, you're going to go under the delusion that you're doing well and that you're profitable. Profitability comes from that efficiency and also feeling like you have financial gain. And financial gain needs to be in your personal bank account. Any other questions towards that?
No, I think we are pretty much there on that. And I have really exciting news, though.
Yeah?
Our wonderful, sweet Sandy Elson is on the webinar today. And I know. Yay, yay, yay. Anyway, hi, Sandy. So Sandy is going to do your second poll question for us because she has access to log in and do that. So just so you know, when
Oh,
you're ready
good.
for that second one, Sandy's
Okay.
coming on.
Okay, hang on. Let me just look at what that second one was. Oh,
I already have it in. I already have it. She's
okay.
She's putting it in for you.
Okay. Hey, Sandy. Okay. All right. So now you got to say now, all right, so how am I going to get to this 49,250? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to see what you're used to doing. So what were your total commissions in the last 12 months? So let's just say your total commissions were only $35,000. I'm going to ask you that 35,000, how many transactions did it take for you to get to that 35,000? Now listen, I know there are bigger transactions and smaller transactions. When I say transaction, I mean client experiences, right? So how many trips did you book? And if it's a group, break that 12-person group up into 12 different individual transactions, okay? So out of that 35,000, you took care of 50 experiences. And that average is, if you took 35,000 and divided it by 50, if my math is correct, you averaged $700 commission per transaction. So you got to know what your current is so that we can make adjustments, because quite frankly, how the heck are you going to get to 49,250 if you maintain what you did the last 12 months? And quite frankly, we know the next 12 months are going to be a bit of a stretch. But let's just say this number happened to be 75,000 and it was 100 transactions. It's still an average of $700 to $750 per transaction. So, you know, it's all relevant. It's all relative. So you have to know your numbers from there. So again, many of you guys don't know this number. What you know is what you put in your bank account, right? You know it when you do your 1099. And how many of you get your 1099 from your host agency, or you do your own and you're like, seriously, that's how much I made? Where the heck did it all go? I mean, I know my husband does that every time, and I get paid a salary. He's like, where's your money going? Then we pull out the Amazon order, and we know exactly where it went. So
you make me laugh.
Now, I know. So now we're going to ask ourselves, how are we going to get to that 49,250? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to set some financial goals. And the financial goals are going to be off of this 49,250. And you got to look like a business the next 12 months. You know, in the next 3 months, what's going to happen to your commission that you've already booked versus the next 3 months versus the next 3 months versus the next 3 months. Break it up into quarters. Set financial goals by quarter. Okay, third quarter, I already kind of know what I'm due. Maybe there was some protected commissions. You know, maybe there was some things that I booked that the final payment happens and now I'm going to get a commission. Chances are a good portion of you guys are not going to see a lot in the third quarter unless you book something local. Let's start talking fourth quarter. Now take that money. I know I feel like I'm in a math class right now. Take that 49,250 and divide it up by the quarters. But be realistic. And this is going to take a little bit of thought. You're going to say, you know what, in fourth quarter, how cool would it be if I were able to say that I collected $15,000 in commissions in the fourth quarter of 2020? Quarter one and quarter two, I think we're going to pick back up. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more, but you got to set those quarterly financial goals. Then from each quarter, break it down by month. And then from each month, break it down by week. This will take you a good half an hour for you with a pencil to figure out, because I really want you to be thinking about forecasting. I don't want this to be this quick 49,250 divided by 4 is 10,000. That doesn't make any sense if you know you're not going to get anything in the third quarter. Because right now, guys, we're talking in July and we're at the beginning of the third quarter, right? July, August, September, October, November. Yeah. Right now, you're beginning of the third quarter of 2020. Let's be smart and strategic, because the smart and strategic person, the person that doesn't go on hope, is the one that hits the mark. Any questions with regards to that?
Let me see. No,
Feel free to tell me to slow down or to go.
Something funny.
Yeah.
Somebody said, ugh, so many zeros.
I know.
It was kind of a good comment, but no. Let's see. No questions.
True. Okay, good. It's true. And your reality is your reality, guys. It's okay. Your reality is your reality. I'd rather you face reality optimistically than to rely on somebody else to determine your outcome and your future. You are the one that should be in control, nobody else. You are in control of your tracking of your numbers, which a lot of people ask me this question: how often should I review my numbers? I always like to tell the story of one of our travel advisors, Amy Leon, who keeps her numbers in a tally on her phone. That chick can tell you on Tuesday at 3 p.m. exactly where she is for the quarter, for the month, and for the week. She knows her numbers. She's obsessed with her numbers. Every $10 that comes in, every $30 that comes in, she adds that to her tally. Now, I'm not saying you need to do that, But I would say on a weekly basis, I would review my numbers, which means you probably need to make sure you've got some sort of accounting tools, like a QuickBooks or something like that, a spreadsheet, something that allows you to keep track of it. And I like to pause. I want to pause right here because of the environment that we're in right now, guys. So many people have lost everything, every sale. Yeah, I would love to see how many of you have lost 90%, 100%, 80%, 70%, 60%. I mean, type your number in. What's your percentage? Just say it out loud. We're all in the same boat. Just say it,
I'll say them
right?
out loud for you.
Delta has
90,
yeah.
90, 89, 100, 80, all.
Yeah.
90,
Yeah.
75, 100. It's everywhere above the 80,
Okay.
probably basically up range.
Yeah. Right. Now, take a deep breath and recognize that you still have that 20% that you didn't lose. You have that 10% you didn't lose. Those that are at the 100%, this statement that I'm going to make is going to make sense to you. When you started your business, you were at 0. And then you got 1. And then 1 turned to 2. And 2 referred you to number 3. And 3 became 4, 5, and 6. When you started your business, you started at 0. The difference is now is that you have knowledge, you have expertise, you have a sphere of influence that you are part of. You have, you are smart. You're on this webinar. You're learning new things along the way. The industry is in the media, so much so where I'm hearing of our advisors, people are sending them gift cards just because they feel bad for them, right? Like people are going to use travel advisors moving forward. The tipping point is happening right now. But from a financial standpoint, I want you to realize you all started at 0, and then you all got 1, and then you all got 2, and then it went from there. So how often should I review my numbers even though I'm at 0? Every single week, because every dollar adds up right now, and you're going to get excited. I remember I was broke in college. Were you broke in college, Joni? Did you go to college? I only went to
Yeah,
college for a
I
year.
did, and I was broke a really long time.
Yeah, me too. And it was kind of fun being broke at one point, right? I'll
Yeah,
never
it's
forget.
kind of
I'll never forget.
somewhat rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'll never forget when I would find a quarter. I worked in Publix grocery store. When I would find a quarter on the ground that somebody didn't think was important, I was like, are you kidding me? I am halfway to a soda. I mean, it was like jubilation whenever I found anything. And that's where we're going to get to be again. I know all of you are probably experiencing, I got to submit a sale. Oh my God, I did a booking. I can't believe it. The commission came in. Everything is exciting right now. So to me, this is an opportunity for you to be re-energized into your business. But we want you to make money along the way, and we want to learn our lessons. And the lesson here is if you hadn't been keeping track of your money in the past, now is a great time to do it, because those things that we focus on, we grow, right? All right. There's my little speech.
I have
Okay, now.
something to say. I want to ask you a
Yeah,
question, Jen. This is really serious.
yeah.
Will you do me a favor and run for president?
Oh, I get that often. I really do need to just get up there, just slap him around a little bit.
Well,
And
you're
I've felt
cheering
this way
me
for the
up.
last
You're
20
cheering me
years.
up, and I hope you're cheering everybody
Yeah.
else up here too.
Oh my God.
Jen,
I
this
will
is
tell you.
Sandy. Jen, this is Sandy. I'll
Hi,
endorse you
Sandy.
right now. Jen for
Okay, go for
president.
Jenn Lee. I
And
love it.
by the way, I'm still broke, or maybe broke again, to answer that.
I will tell you, somebody just texted me who's listening to the webinar and said that the words are so inspiring and encouraging. And it's true, you guys. It's true. So, okay. So thank you. Thank you guys for your kind comments. I appreciate it. I'm super passionate about this industry. Jenny and I were talking about it before. I'm so passionate for y'all. And this is so doable. It's so, so doable. So you should review your numbers. You're going to make me cry, people. You should review your numbers on a weekly basis. Now that I told you that there's all this process, we just did this whole lines 1 through 5. We've just broken it down practically to the hour. I'm going to tell you not to worry about the process after this. I mean, not to worry about the outcome after this. I want you to focus on the process, not the outcome. Because if you focus just on the outcome, you may disappoint yourself. I want you to keep an eye on the outcome, because I want you to, just like I weigh myself every single day, and even though I go up and down pound, 2 pounds, 1 pound, if I didn't weigh myself every single day and 2 weeks went down the road, I could have gained 6 pounds and not realized it, right? It's the same thing. You have to keep close focus on it. So, but I want you to focus on the process, not the outcome. So now we're going to go into the process. There's only 2 ways you're going to make this happen, people. There's only 2 ways you're going to hit this number. Hang on. Whoop, whoop. Only 2 ways you're going to hit this number and all these goals. You're either going to increase your average dollar per sale, or you're going to increase your sales. So let's start with increase your average dollar per sale. And I really want to get your ideas through this, you guys. So I've put up some of the things that I think you can do. First off, everyone raise their hand. Who's going to start charging cancellation fees? Who's got that in their new disclaimer?
Amen.
Again, amen. One of my top advisors said she has always had cancellation fees in. The one that I was telling you about that pays herself $800 a week. And she told me, thank God for her cancellation fees, because when people were canceling before they needed to cancel, she's like, I just want you to understand, you know, we have a $275 cancellation fee in here, or 10% of the cost of that. Yep, I understand it. It's worth it. She was making money on her cancellation fees. And I will discuss this openly with anybody who disagrees with me. So, or has a different perspective to it. So you're going to have to start charging service and cancellation fees. That's going to increase the average dollar per sale. Travel insurance. Who's really going to talk about travel insurance now? Who's really going to be asking about travel insurance now? Now, we know a pandemic is not covered by travel insurance. Some of the suppliers are starting to come out with some kind of cool alternatives, but I would say travel insurance is something people is going to be high on their list. Start selling travel insurance. Get to know multiple travel insurance companies, know them well, utilize their training. Excursions. Many of the very busy travel advisors had told me, you know what, they had not booked excursions before. They were just booking the cruise. It was enough for them. They were so busy. Well, you know what? Now they should hire someone who does that follow-up call, that all they do is tack on the excursions, have that follow-up conversation. Who can you pay 10 bucks an hour for to make you an extra $2,000 a month? That to me is well worth it. Transfers. You know, your Carry Internationals, all these transfer companies, go ahead and arrange that and put that into the full bucket, into the full quote. You've got to learn. We're going to have to adjust and alter the way that we are quoting moving forward. What worked in the past is not necessarily what's going to work in your future if you want to hit your profitability goals. Then I also believe that it's a time for you to review your suppliers that you are doing business with. Higher per sale suppliers. Now, that doesn't mean not to sell the Carnivals of the world and not to take advantage of Expedia and some of this other stuff. It just means that if you're going to sell something, sell that higher price point within that supplier, or choose a supplier that gives you a higher commission rate. How and what you quote is going to be important, and that kind of goes back to the suppliers as well. Oh my God, thank you guys. People are texting me while we're on this.
See,
I love all of
you. You could win.
Oh my God, apparently I'm going to run for,
Yeah,
you know, I could probably win at this point. Okay,
yeah.
back to this. Max commission, max out your commissions with suppliers and your host. Now, everybody knows that I'm with Travel Planners International. We are a host agency. I will tell you, it really baffles my mind when people sign up with a host agency and sign up for the lowest commission, the highest commission split, because it's the lowest amount. I'm keeping 30% of their commission because they don't want to spend an extra $122 a year. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. If you are with a host, max your commission. Go to them, ask them, do they have a 90, 95, even a 100% commission? You should be asking for that, because that's going to increase your average per sale. You are either in this business or you're not in this business. You either want to make a lot of money in this business, whatever a lot means to you, or you don't. Also, people who are not with host agencies crack me up. I have no idea why people are with, I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you right now, why are you with a consortia? And that's not, why are you with a consortia direct? Unless you're doing 7, 8, 9, 10, $11 million a year, you should be with a host agency who is with a consortia, because you get to double dip. You get to double dip. You get the highest amount of commission from the suppliers, right from the get-go, as long as you're with a, a good sized host agency, which we have many of them. TPI is clearly not the only one. But, why are you not double dipping? Why are you not taking advantage of both of them? These are the types of the decisions that you got to start making moving forward, because you never want to be in this position again if we find ourselves in this position again. All right, I'm off my soapbox about
Okay,
that.
I have a pro tip. Hold on, interruption. I have a
Do
pro
it.
tip from Stephen Gold, and I'm just going to share
Oh,
this
hey.
for anybody that's
Yeah.
listening. Okay, his pro tip is send quotes for insurance to every client along with excursions and transfers, even after the booking. There are some
Yes.
insurance companies that allow the clients to accept the quote and pay on their end, and there are co-branded links for excursions and transfers to still earn you your commission while automating the process. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. Hey, and anybody else, and I know Stephen Gould, he co-founder of the Engage Tourism, wicked smart. Listen to him. Anybody else have something on there? I
No,
agree with
most
him.
of it was just someone was mentioning something though that is maybe we should bring this up at least, that sometimes a seller of travel doesn't allow for fees. Somebody says the Florida seller of travel in particular, is that true?
It does. It does allow you to charge service fees, but you have to do it through your host agency.
Oh, okay.
So like at TPI, we have a service fee. You can click on it on this. There's a form, and it's way above my pay grade. But yeah, you can, but you have to do it through your host agency. There is a way to do it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
good. I just was following, and she mentioned that.
no, but please conduct all seller of travel laws. Please talk to your host agency. Or if you are an agency that's with a consortia direct and you still have questions, please connect with ASTA. Everyone should belong to ASTA as well. You talk about saving yourself some money and saving our industry, that's ASTA. Okay, so these are ways to increase your average dollar per sale, okay? This is just a handful of ways. The other way for you to get to your profitability, to hit that 49,250, my made up number, is to increase the number of sales that you make. Now, also back here, anything where you see that I've got an asterisk, I'm going to give you an additional resource at the end of this for you to be able to learn more about this. So I'm going to keep you working because I want you all to be profitable. Okay, so the next is how to increase the number of sales. And there's a variety of ways, but to me, this is failure number one. Ask for the sale every single time. Every single time. At the end of the conversation, you should have a standard roll off your tongue, wrap up sentence that says, okay, based on what we've talked about and the questions that I've answered, this cruise on this date for these people with this cabin and these 6 excursions and this for a total of 23,750 sounds like the experience you told me you were looking for. Which credit card would you like to use? It has to roll off your tongue. You have to ask for the sale. The follow-up call, which is number 2, follow up, follow up, follow up. I have a famous statement that I always tell people, Jen, how often do you follow up? I say you follow up until the restraining order is given to you at your front door. Until the restraining order is served, you keep following up. You do not know what's going on in that person's world. Do not take it personal. That is your job. They are relying on you. And there's an asterisk at the end of this, and we talk about it on this in another resource that I'm going to give you at the end of this. And I would love to get anybody's input on something special that they say that helps them close more sales, or a follow-up technique that they use that they find to be super successful. Go for it.
There we go. And this is from Susie. Hi, Susie Schreiner.
Hey.
For increasing number of sales, when I make a booking for a cruise or all-inclusive, I ask if they have any friends and family that they'd like to travel with. Depending on the trip, I offer an incentive such as a gift card, OBC, etc. Great idea.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Same thing with reviews too, afterwards, and just say, hey, I'm excited for you for your trip. There's nothing wrong with asking for a review before the trip. Like, why are you waiting for the trip? Because when you ask for a review, it ups your, just say, hey, listen, I've really enjoyed planning this. I'm super excited about your family going to Ireland and going back through your ancestry and your mother being able to see, where her mother grew up and so on and so forth. It would just do me the greatest joy if you wouldn't mind just writing a review about our process so far. Ask for the review before the trip, because when that shows up, someone else goes, oh, they can plan a whole ancestry trip in Ireland. I had no idea. Let me give that Susie a call. So follow up, follow up, follow up. Second thing is market with segmented databases. Now more than ever, I'm hearing of our very smart TPI advisors are doing something right now. They're segmenting their email databases right now. They've asked them, hey, listen, I'm starting to see some great opportunities, some great cruise deals right now. I'm just making this up, guys. I'm seeing some great cruise deals right now. Would you like me to keep you informed? If yes, I'm going to put you over here in this database and I'm going to keep you up to date. If no, I'm going to keep you in this database and I'm going to keep following up with you with COVID updates, with recipes, invitations to virtual meetings, what have you. And then your third database should be your prospects, right? So you've got your clients that you've segmented into those two: who wants to hear about deals now, who wants to hear about deals later, or who doesn't want to hear anything. And then you've got your fourth, which are people who haven't done business with you yet. You need to segment those databases and start marketing to them very differently. I'm going to give you, there's an asterisk in this bullet point, which means there's going to be a follow-up resource that I'm going to share with you. And that's going to help you with your verbiage with them as well. Again, if this is something that's like over your head to do, there are plenty of people out there that are really talented, that would be happy to do your email newsletter for you, happy to do your social media post, and you would just need to pay them $10 an hour. Finding new clients is another way to increase the number of sales. I cannot believe the number of times that I've talked to our advisors and they say, none of my clients want to book right now. And I said, I can totally understand that. Now it's time to find new clients. And it's like I had just shot them in the throat. What? What do you mean new clients? Yes. If your current clients aren't buying, that means you need to find your new clients. Because here's what's happening out there. And Joni, I'd love your insight on this. Here's what's happening out there. There's a lot of travel agencies or individual travel advisors. Let's just say this. There's a lot of individual travel advisors that have said, you know what, this is not worth the hassle. I was only doing this part-time anyway, and they've given up their 6 clients, right? They've stopped. There are agencies out there that are like, you know what, I was trying to retire. Gosh darn it, I need to retire. I'm just gonna, put a shingle out that says we're closed for business. There's groups of people that are not gonna make it. There are groups of people that did business with bookit.com. There are groups and millions of people who heard about how wonderful their friend's travel advisor was, that they stayed on hold for 7 hours where they just had to do it themselves. There are people out there right now that are not doing business with you that are looking for somebody to say, hey, I'm open for you to do business with me. So start finding new clients. And again, I have an additional resource for you.
That is so true, Jen. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
there has to be a multitude of people that have actually just said that, like you say, they just really just didn't want to do this that much, and their heart really
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in it. But then we have all these people today that are on this webinar whose heart is in this, and
Yep.
we want you guys to pick up those clients that are out there now floundering, going, where do I go? So they're out
Yeah.
there. They're not going to stop traveling.
Here.
Not everybody's going to
Yeah.
stop traveling.
They're and again, we're not talking about people that need, we're not trying to send people to, Italy next weekend. What we're trying to do is to get them committed to something for the future, because everybody wants to look forward to something. Hope is still not a strategy, but it certainly is something that helps people, right? Hope is helpful. And so that is your job, is to make it available for them to have hope and to move forward. So the other thing that kind of scary to me is I've talked to 3 suppliers now that have said the same thing to me. And this is a scary statistic. And I'm so glad you guys are on this webinar. I won't tell you who the 3 suppliers are, but I will tell you 3 different suppliers in the last 10 days have said the exact same thing. You know what we're seeing, Jen? We're seeing more bookings coming from outside of the travel advisor base than inside the travel advisor base, where in the previous, it was within the travel advisor base. And you know why? Because the travel advisors are tiptoeing around talking about travel. The travel advisors are not segmenting their marketing, maybe, or they've stopped marketing, or they've stopped talking about travel, and instead of just stayed in contact in a soft kind of way. And so what's happening is consumers are thinking these travel advisors are not booking travel any longer. Or these are consumers who lost their travel advisor. And so they just call the supplier directly. So they're out there, guys. They're out there. You have to go find them. So go find some new clients. I'd love any kind of talk on that as well. The next way that you can increase the number of your sales is to scale your actual business. So one of the things that you can do is add associate advisors. I know at TPI, and I'm sure other host agencies are experiencing the same thing, and the exact same thing happened after 9/11 from what I understand, and after the 2008 crash, is that people have been furloughed and laid off, and they're ready to start their next career. This is the time for them to get into travel and to become a travel advisor. And we are signing up new advisors left and right. We would much rather, I know at TPI, would much rather those advisors that are new to the industry go through a good solid training, but partner with a main advisor so that they have a mentor, a built-in mentor and a team that's smaller than what the host agency can provide. So start asking people, hey, I'm in travel, we're still alive and well and kicking. Anybody, if you've ever thought about jumping into the travel industry business, I'd love to possibly add you to my team and start having those conversations. Stephen Gould, who I know is on here, has done an amazing job with adding people who are smart, who've been either furloughed or laid off, or kind of see the writing at the end of the tunnel, or like, I'm gonna get out of this, or I'm only 3 years away from retirement, I need to start doing something. Another thing that you can do, guys, is partner with a blogger or an influencer. So if you can find a blogger, let's just say you focus on Spain. If you can find a blogger that talks all about Spain, call them. Reach out to them and say, hey, listen, you write great content. I need new clients. You need more people to pay attention to your content. Let's cross promote one another. And then come up with some sort of referral fee or compensation amongst the two of you. How cool would it be if there was somebody out there writing content and they said, hey, and if you want this type of trip, click here and hook up with my girl Susie. She can take great care of you. And then Susie gets the booking and a new client. The client, because I always tell bloggers, you're kind of like taking somebody out on a really great steak dinner and everything's gone perfect and you walk them to the door and then you don't kiss them. Like you're not closing the deal. So you've done all this hard work. Well, you, my friends, the travel advisor, if you partner with them, it helps them complete that cycle for their reader, who then becomes a more avid reader. Another one is to take over or partner with another agency. If I were a travel agency owner right now, I probably would be putting out feelers. Hey, listen, I know many of my counterparts, my fellow advisors, you are trying to retire. I'd like to have a conversation with you about that. How can we do a soft handover? Not necessarily a buyout, but a soft handover over the next year or 2 years so that your clients are being well taken care of. And I'm growing my business so we can take it into another generation. Have that conversation. And then finally, scale with new services. Many of our advisors at TPI have started to do coaching, or they've developed another business where they're selling templates, or they're doing social media on the side. They're scaling their business through new services. Some are doing just development fees, like planning a trip, not a plan to go fee, but an actual plan a trip fee. There's just a variety of different ways that you can scale your business. And there's a million more ways to increase the number of your sales. What have I missed? I'd love to get some people's comments on this. What have I missed?
I think you're hitting them. Somebody says they're adding ICs and
Good.
are curious about IC splits and things. So there's some really good questions. Hey, did you still want to do that last poll or not?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that last.
Yeah, because Sandy
Yeah,
said she'd do that for us, and I know we're getting down to the wire here. We need to do
I
your
know.
prizes, and I want you to go forever and ever, ever. So you just have to come back.
I know. So go ahead and ask that last question, Sandy. Do
Okay,
that
let's
poll.
launch that poll.
Thank you, Sandy.
I
Okay. And the
love the
poll
team.
was, were you profitable in 2019? Click
Yeah,
on
think of
yes
the whole
or
year.
no.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. Will it be live? We'll get to see it?
Yeah, it'll be live. We're just
Yeah.
going to give it a moment or two for people to respond. The answers are flying in.
Yes, they are.
Okay, let's see how we did. We'll close the poll, and here are the results.
Okay, good. That was 2019. I would love to ask the follow-up question. Do you plan on being profitable in 2021? Because it's got to be 2021 at
Yeah,
this
we got to
point.
skip 2020 right at this point.
Yeah, in the next 12 months, do you plan on being profitable? And do you want to be profitable and plan on being profitable in the next 12 months? While you're doing that poll, am I allowed to keep going through my slide?
Sandy, are you able to do another poll, or is that going to be too tough to do now?
I'm working
It's
on
okay.
it.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Oh, here
go
we
ahead.
If
go.
not, so I'm going to go over the addition.
Perfect.
Oh, that's
That's
okay.
great. Go ahead, Jen. Then we can do the
Yeah. Yeah. So here's some additional resources, guys. Anyone who's ever heard me speak, when I was talking about segmenting and speaking to your database in different ways, a great way to do that is through these 3 resources. Don Miller, Building a Story Brand,
Oh, I love
Phrases
that
That
book, Words That
Sell.
Sell. Oh
Oh,
my God, I love
oh, I
that
love
book.
that.
Oh,
I'm in it all the time.
me
I was
too.
just telling I'm in it all the time.
I am
And it
too.
really polishes up your marketing verbiage. It allows you to be more emotional with your verbiage, where you're really going to connect with people. And I use it. I've learned so much from these 3 books that even just conversations. So buy those 3 books, guys. I have no affiliate links. I make no money on this. I just believe in them. Even though Don Miller really does need to call me and thank me, because I've probably sold more of his book and courses than he has. Okay, then next is there are 3 different webinars that I've done previously here with our friends at Travel Professional News. All 3 of them will help you with some of the things that we were talking about earlier. The first one is creating a Facebook community that converts. I am obsessed with this. This is completely different than a Facebook page. This is not about a business page. It's about creating a community. You will get more sales because you'll find new clients and increase your influence well beyond your current reach. Can't go into it now, but go back and listen to that webinar. The next one is 5 word swaps that will increase your sales. I did this one about a year ago. This will increase your sales. Simple changes in what you say during the sales process will make a huge impact. And if you want to close the business every time, if you want to make sure you're qualifying properly, and I'm not talking about the boring stuff like how many people, where do you want to go, not that stuff. This is really good stuff. 5 word swaps that will increase your sales. And then the third one is stop doing these 5 time suckers in your business. You will never have enough time to meet your goals if you don't manage it well. And this is really about some of the things that you're doing on a regular basis that might be sucking your time and your joy and your energy, which is going to stop you from completing and meeting those goals. And then the final resource is something that we're really, really proud of at TPI. We created a 31-page resource guide, free, downloadable, which has social media shareables in it, inspirational sample email verbiage and banners that you can download, the step-by-step guide to pitching the media, pitching travel to your local media, a Travel America resource guide. We've got 3 additional webinars in here. We also have this profitability plan is laid out in there as well. It's free of charge. All you have to do is go to Travel Planners International, where's my scoop? travelplannersinternational.com, and it's fiercely-forward-formula. Just give us your email address and we will send you the link to the Dropbox to download that. And then also I would encourage you to join our Fiercely Forward Formula Facebook page. This is not about TPI. It is a Facebook page where we have advisors from all over the country and Canada. And we're not talking about suppliers. We're only talking positive, motivational. Here's what you need to do. Here's how to do it. Share your best practices. It's all about sales, marketing, growing your business, staying fiercely forward. We even have a Spotify Fiercely Forward playlist that I keep adding to over and over again. And we're just super proud of this. And so those are the resources. And
Okay, folks, I'm going to ask Jen, I just want to run it quickly to let people know, because I've gotten a lot of questions about your webinars that you've done with us. Everybody, the webinars are all available at travelprofessionalnews.com. You can go right to the magazine, our website, and in there you'll see webinars. Just click on that and then click on the host agency webinars, and you'll find all of Jen's webinars there. Additionally, you can also go to our YouTube channel, which is actually Tom Ogg, which is a strange name for a YouTube channel, but that's his name, so that's the name. And so you can go there if you want to see those. And then I've had a couple other quick questions that are asking, will you be sending this information out, these various resources that you have? Okay, she says yes. So that answers a ton of questions there as well. And by the way, everybody, she will have your email addresses because she has done this webinar. So you logged in, and so she has that information for you. So not to worry, Jen will be reaching back out. Do you want to go ahead and do that poll, Jen?
Let's do the 2. Yeah, let's just do the 2 questions. Let's do our 2 questions because we're
Absolutely. Sandy put it up.
Okay.
Too late.
There you go.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Let's do it.
You know, it would be interesting if you had done this at the beginning and then again at the end, because I bet a lot of people's answer has changed from this wonderful webinar you've
I
given,
agree.
Jen.
I know.
I agree.
I
I'm gonna
know.
say do
But
it.
you weren't
Do it,
with us,
Sandy.
Sandy.
Okay, let's see what the
Oh my
answers are.
God, I love this. This is freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you,
Oh
Oh,
Jen.
I
my
love it.
God.
All right, we'll go ahead
My
and do
job,
the
my job is
question.
almost done. It's only done when you are profitable. I want to hear from you.
Hey,
Okay, so we have 2 questions, right?
yes.
Because 2 of you guys are going to win a 30-minute consultation with me. And I'm pretty good on the 30 minutes. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
know
rock
you
your
are.
world.
You're good at it. All right, so we've got 2 questions, folks, and what's going to happen is we're going to pick for each question. We're going to pick I think we'll pick the 5th correct answer. Mind you, it has to be a correct answer, and you'll need to just type in your answers over on that screen where the questions logging area is that you used previously. And this is not a poll, so this is a little different. You just put your answers in, and we'll take the last one. Hey, Sandy, you want to help me count?
Oh, sure, I'm on
Cool.
it.
All right, awesome. All right, so the first question is, how often should you check your profitability progress?
Yep.
Everyone should be typing in their answers now.
I'm seeing them.
Okay.
I'm afraid to make sure I got the right one, Sandy, which is the 5th one. That's correct.
Okay, let's see.
Thank goodness for Sandy, huh, Joni?
No
Aw.
kidding. I know. I think I know which one it
Okay.
is, but I
Okay,
want to make
Joni,
sure.
go ahead and
Okay,
I'll
I'm
double
going to
check
say the
from here.
winner is the 5th correct answer. It's weekly, by the way. That's the answer, folks. And
Oh, yeah.
the person is Edgar Rodriguez.
Oh my goodness, Edgar,
Yep,
congratulations.
Yep. Okay, so I did
congratulations,
count that
Edgar.
right. Oh my,
That was correct.
can't fire me yet. Okay, number
Right.
2. If you had $500 to spend, what does Jen recommend you spend it on? And no, it doesn't mean Amazon.com. I know that would have been a good answer, but that's not the answer. So if you had
That is definitely
$500
not
to
the
spend, what does Jen recommend that you spend it on?
I assume the answer is not wine.
No,
Well, no.
that's the sub answer.
That is probably what I am spending it on these days.
Oh, and lots of right answers
I've
here.
got my number 5. Okay, well, I'm going to double check my counting. 1, 2, 3. Yep. All right. So Patricia Bomber, congratulations.
Patty, hey girl, that's one of our advisors.
Well,
Oh,
there
she's
you
just
go.
wonderful. Hey
He was listening
girl.
carefully.
I love it, love it, love it.
All
So,
right.
so you guys, I just want to say, hang on, let me just go to my little thing. I believe in
Cheers.
you. Cheers to you guys. That is wine. You can do this. Just stay focused, put together a plan, and then just focus on the process. Just focus on the process. And before you know it, you're going to turn around and look at it and you're going to go, holy guacamole, Jenn Lee was right. I did it.
So I just don't even know what to say. This was absolutely you're always kill it. You always do such a great job, but today for some reason just really got me. It really hit me really hard today with a real positive feeling, and I kind of needed it. So I thank you so much, Jen, for sharing your knowledge, your energy, and your passion for this industry with all of us today. Agents, I'm sure you agree with me. This was ridiculously fantastic. And I thank all of you for taking the time to sit through this and listen to her and to come up with all the right answers. And you're all going to be profitable in 2021, according to this. Goodbye, everybody. Sandy, thank you. And so glad to have you back here. It was so wonderful to have
My
you on.
pleasure, my pleasure. And Jen, that was really inspirational is the word I come up with.
Yep.
We need some inspiration and hope at this time, and you certainly provided it. So thank you from me too.
It was wonderful. Thank you guys so much. And everybody have a great rest of your day. I have a feeling we're all going to have a fantastic rest of the day after this. Bye-bye.